Welcome back to Valid Voices, the place where we sit down, grab a coffee, and have honest conversations about the struggles, the hidden corners of love and relationships that aren't always easy to talk about. Today, we are going to dive into a highly modern issue, something that might be silently eroding the confidence and trust in your relationship every single day: social media jealousy. More specifically, the likes, the comments, or the fact that your partner still actively follows their ex on Instagram or TikTok. Let me tell you a story. It's one that I know so many of us can see ourselves in. Let's call the girl in this story Sarah. Sarah and her boyfriend, Jake, had been together for about 2 years. From the outside, they were the picture-perfect couple. They moved in together, shared everything, and Jake always seemed like a caring, attentive guy. But then, a tiny crack started to form, not in the real world, but through a phone screen. It all started late one night when they were laying in bed watching a movie. Sarah casually glanced over at Jake's phone screen and saw him scrolling through Instagram. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw him double-tap a photo of his ex-girlfriend. It wasn't just a casual picture of a dog or a landscape, it was a bikini selfie at the beach. Sarah tried to brush it off. She told herself she didn't want to be the crazy, controlling girlfriend who gets jealous over a harmless tap on a screen. She chose to stay quiet. But you know how it is, once that seed of doubt is planted, it starts to take root. A few weeks later, curiosity got the better of her. Sarah started paying more attention. She realized Jake wasn't just occasionally liking pictures, he was always one of the first people to view his ex's Instagram stories, and occasionally, he would leave playful comments on her TikTok videos. When Sarah finally gathered the courage to confront Jake about it, his reaction was exactly what she had feared. Jake laughed it off and told her she was blowing things out of proportion. He said, "It's just social media, babe. She and I are just friends now. I'm just being polite. It doesn't mean anything. I love you, and I'm the one going to bed with you. Why are you jealous of a phone app?" That explanation might sound logical on the surface, but it didn't make Sarah feel any better. Instead, she started questioning herself. She wondered if she was just being paranoid. She began silently comparing herself to the ex. She would scroll through the girl's profile, analyzing every photo, seeing what she wore, how she did her makeup. From a confident, independent woman, Sarah turned into someone constantly living in anxiety. Every time Jake picked up his phone and smiled, her stomach would tie into knots. She wondered what he was looking at, who he was texting. Their relationship became suffocating. The arguments became more frequent, and every time, Jake used the same familiar defense: "You're getting obsessed over nothing." The tipping point finally came when Sarah discovered Jake had secretly replied to one of his ex's stories at 2 a.m. while Sarah was sleeping. It was a short message, but it was filled with the familiar intimacy of two people who used to belong to each other. This time, Sarah didn't cry. She realized that the issue was never about Jake physically cheating on her. The issue was that he consistently invalidated her feelings, disregarded the boundaries of their relationship, and kept a door open to his past, even though it was deeply hurting his present. Sarah's story ended with her deciding to pack her bags and move out. Not because of a single like, but because of 100 likes piled up alongside the sheer emotional negligence of the man she loved. So, what can we learn from this? Social media is virtual, but your pain is real. So many people use the "it's just the internet" excuse to justify their behavior. In psychology, they call this micro-cheating. You're not sleeping with someone else, you're not sending romantic texts, but you are giving your attention, time, and emotional energy to someone who isn't your partner. If you are in Sarah's shoes right now, the very first thing I want to tell you is this: your feelings are entirely valid. Do not let anyone label you as crazy or controlling just because you feel insecure when they constantly interact with their ex or other men and women online. In a healthy relationship, boundaries aren't set by societal norms, they are agreed upon by the two people in it. For some couples, being friends with an ex on social media is totally fine. But for others, it's a breach of trust. If a casual action of your partner breaks your heart, and you have communicated that honestly, but they continue to do it anyway, the issue is no longer about the action itself. The issue is a lack of respect. When someone truly loves you and values the relationship, they will not let a mindless scrolling habit hurt the woman or man lying next to them every night. What is the solution here? It's crystal clear communication and setting firm boundaries. Don't drop hints, don't suffer in silence, and don't attack them either. Sit down and say, I feel unsafe and disrespected when you constantly interact with your ex on social media. To me, that is a hard boundary. If they listen, understand, and change their behavior, that's someone who truly cares about your feelings. But if they immediately get defensive, gaslight you, and continue acting the same way, maybe it's time to re-evaluate your place in their life. Never let a phone screen dictate your self-worth. You deserve a wholehearted love, a place where you feel completely safe, both in the real world and in the digital one. Thank you for tuning in to Valid Voices today. Love yourself first, and I'll catch you in our next story.